Hi guys, good afternoon. So today I'm just going to do a somewhat quick tutorial on how I have created my own pouring medium. I shouldn't say mine. I modified it based on information I learned from many different artists. The first thing I use is Floetrol. Floetrol is a paint life extender. It also helps with quality of paint. So you use Floetrol when you paint to get rid of brush strokes and keep your paint from scaling. So I use this in every single type of paint pouring that I do, whether it's a dirty pour, a straight cup, open cup, my failed attempt to do Dutch pours, blooms. Every single thing I do uses Floetrol. I tend to mix up about 3/4 of a gallon of pouring medium at a time. I don't want too terribly much. I don't want to take a chance of getting too clumpy. Floetrol, you should always strain it. It has a habit of getting clumpy. So buy yourself a cheap little strainer, and when you are doing this, you want to strain your Floetrol. There will be clumps, especially if you don't have a fresh gallon. Floetrol also comes in quarts or pints, which is 32 ounces. There's 4 of these for 1 gallon. I buy it by the gallon because it's cheaper, but this is actually a good one. There's no clumps in here. I just cleaned out, I store my, once I mix my pouring medium, I keep it in a Floetrol container, and I write on what ratio I did that day, because sometimes I might change it up a little bit. As soon as you sift your Floetrol, you need to rinse it or you'll never be able to use it again. Okay, so I'm just gonna, this is 32 ounces of Floetrol, or 1 pint. Now I'm gonna pour that in here. Funnels are really handy to have when you're mixing up these things, because it's a pain in the butt trying to pour a straight line in there. I'm getting pretty good at it, but I'd rather not make a mess. These products aren't cheap, so I'd rather not make a mess if I don't have to. So I have Floetrol. The next, once it pours in here, the next item I use is Liquitex Professional Pouring Medium, or Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. It's the same thing. They just took the varnish name off of their bottles now. I will also be putting 32 ounces in this bottle of that. Kind of a 50-50 deal, but hold on a second. So that's done. Floetrol's done. Next will be, I buy this by the gallon. It's a lot cheaper to do so. Otherwise you're paying, I have a smaller bottle that I use to do my varnishing with. This 32 ounce bottle of Liquitex Professional, to purchase this is like $30. So it's considerably cheaper to buy it by the gallon, which I paid, I think, $56. Sorry, this is hard to open when it's a new gallon. I wish they had like a little pouring spout on these gallons though. It's kind of a pain. I just don't want to splatter it everywhere, so I'm like carefully trying to pour it. Normally I would have gloves on, but I got lazy and I didn't do so. But you don't want to get this Liquitex pouring medium on your skin. It dries similar to, I would say, super glue on your skin. If you've ever experienced that, that's not pleasant. So I'm just gonna ladle some in because it's ultra messy. The next item I use is Elmer's Glue All. And I use, 32 ounces of Floetrol, 32 ounces of Liquitex Professional Pouring Medium. Then I'm gonna do 16 ounces of Elmer's Glue All, which I just like. The reason why I use Elmer's Glue All is because when you pour and you want the effect of having cells, it really grabs on and helps them keep their shape. I personally like that when my cells have the shape that I intended them to have. Okay, just gonna sit out there for a second. I'm gonna pour this in. I love the Liquitex pouring medium. It really gives you truly consistent results. And as much money as everything costs to do these things, you want to have a good quality product, especially if you're selling them. And I do a lot of commissions, and I want my work to hold up. I want it to stay nice and pretty for the years to come. So I want to use products that I know are going to provide me with the results I'm comfortable with and the results my clients want. So that's kind of why I use it. I've tried other pouring mediums like DecoArt. I've tried Artist Loft pouring medium. The Artist Loft worked good. I didn't really care for the DecoArt personally. I've even tried some cheap Walmart one. That thing was terrible. You're better off just with water. But Liquitex pouring medium has been my favorite. And one of the main reasons I use Floetrol with it is the Floetrol is a paint conditioner, which improves the quality in which the paint lays. So in this world of acrylic pouring, you want it to dry nice. You want it to flatten out. That's really important. I'm gonna throw this in the sink with some water. So I pre-measured out the Elmer's Glue All just to save time, so you don't have to watch me measure it. And I'm just gonna dump this in here. It takes a little longer because it's so thick. And then I'm gonna talk about my final item that I mix into my pours. So I'm gonna go put this in the kitchen. Okay, move this out of the way here. You don't want to leave the lid off or it will start getting chunks in it. Okay, so like I said, Elmer's Glue All is super thick. I get asked a lot, why not Elmer's School Glue? And the main response that I have to that is that Elmer's School Glue is washable. So if you clean your painting or, before you're gonna say you're gonna resin it, when you go to wipe to clean the painting, there's a chance that some of that paint can come off. It also yellows. incredibly fast. When I first started pouring, that's what I used for my pouring medium, was Elmer's Glue All. I didn't know any better. I watched some YouTube videos and it worked. So that's what I did. Come to find out, you know, a few years down the road, anything that was white paint color looks yellow now. And it's only been a few years. So if you're using it to learn, that's fine. If you're using it to sell, I wouldn't recommend it, personally. I have 2 cups of this, so it's about 16 ounces of Elmer's Glue All. Maybe a little under because I didn't measure it perfectly. So the last item I use in my pouring medium is GAC 800, which is this incredible stuff. It's by Golden. It's GAC 800, and its job is to help minimize crazing. When you pour a large volume of paint on a canvas and you do not tilt off enough paint, your paint will crack. If you use paint and it's thinned too much with your pouring medium, it will craze, which basically means it will separate from the pouring medium. So basically you'll see I noticed it the most on white paint for whatever reason. You'll see like this spotty consistency that sucks because it ruins your pictures. I personally have had it happen several times. It's part of the reason why I switched up my white paints completely and used the better quality paints, because I didn't want to keep having this happen. And it's so disappointing when you spend so much time and energy to create a beautiful picture and it turns to crap. So I'm also going to add some water, and I add about 6 ounces of water to my pouring medium jug, and not a huge amount. I don't want to break down the properties of my pouring medium, so a lot of times I will save the water for each particular specific paint, because there are some paints that require some sort of water to thin them out enough. But I really don't use a lot of water in my pouring medium, just enough to clean the containers so I don't waste material, or in this case the funnel. So I added a little bit of water to help get the glue moving. I will put 8 ounces of GAC 800 in my pouring medium container. This is a gallon jug. So it's not full. It'll be about 3/4 of a gallon, so about 3 pints total. Maybe a little, yeah, pretty close to 3 pints total with the water. And that's how I do it. The only difference in pouring medium is when I'm doing a bloom, because in that case you're using the polyacrylic and the deep base, untinted deep base of whatever paint company you're using. So the GAC will go in here. It is, of course, this is more glue. Each one of these is an 8-ounce cup. I used 2 of them because I'm using 16 ounces of glue, and each one gums up the works. But I don't mix more than this much pouring medium at once. That way it's not sitting together and getting gross. Once I've mixed it, I will put it in little squeeze bottles, and then when I pull a paint color to do a painting, then I add my pouring medium at that time. So I don't have this being opened constantly, allowing air to get in there, which dries it out. I don't want to ruin what I've got in here, so I make sure that it's airtight, and I don't have to worry about it getting the pouring medium getting ruined because air is getting in there. So I hope this helps. Feel free, if you have any questions or concerns, to post a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you like the content I shared with you today, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really means the world to me to know that people are supporting us in our endeavor, me and my husband. And thank you again, and happy painting.